Chapter 15 The Black Blueprint Revelations for Black Kind Salvation. My nigger son, my black blueprint for your kind salvation initiates with a well-recognized proposal of finality, that our Caucasian peers come to mutual agreement with our black kind to live together with one and the other while retaining a distinctive form of segregation. For it shall be an American social order of this kind which I hereby propose, that will solve the nigger dilemma of all mankind. As you consider this my black blueprint, I must keep you reminded of one basic principle or truth, one that we must not be fearful of facing. It is immoral for us to legislate or seek to legislate the customs, feelings, and attitudes of any people until are out of existence. Not only are such attempts immoral, but foolhardy, futile, and ridiculous, no matter how noble an idea our aims might be. You must also keep in mind, my nigger children, that our demands for integration as we presently pursue them originate with the spirit-chilling assumption that we, the black kind beings, are inferior or not equal to the Caucasian beings. And if we were immediately inferior, then integration will hardly be the answer to improving our plight of this inferiority. Rather, it does more to establish it. Then we can never convince ourselves or prove to prosperity just how integration would make us become the Caucasians' equal. Now there are those among us who will cry out, "This is not the point." It is not a matter of being inferior to Caucasian, rather it is a matter of our black kind beings having been deprived of equal opportunity. We have proven ourselves in every field of endeavor in which we have been given the equal opportunity. And my answer to these fools would be simply to reply, that is as it should be. For opportunity, it is not given, it is taken. Then remember, integration does not by any yardstick of rules imply or even suggest anything like equal opportunity. By any stretch of the imagination, the meaning of integration simply means a nigger engaged for his presence to display and show Christian ignorance. Then, my nigger son, there will be those who defend and say, why not? What other means are at social disposal to prove that all people are equal and alike? And my answer to these would be, by proving your distinctive differences. It is only through differences that people prove how much they are alike and equal to each other. Being alike, emulating another people does not prove quality nor equality, but quality and equality are rather proven by comparisons and in contrast. My nigger son, if you feel called upon to prove your quality and equality, then we must do it by supplying our own distinctive and segregated means of education, politics, religion, and employment. Then finally, my son, there will be those who will ask, and just how do we obtain that such means? Our people were enslaved and brought here. We did not come as immigrants. Others had the advantage of already being free when they arrived here. They arrived under conditions which would give them advantages. And to those niggers who cry thusly, I will give them this answer. Then you must come together to make such advantages with the very conditions that your enslavement has created. Return to your urban nigger ghettos from whence you have fled. Even go back to the very rural areas of the South where the numbers of your black kind constitute the obvious majority of those communities. Then you must proceed to activate such communities that they become separated as local government entities within the existing municipal, county, state, and national government frameworks. Note: my nigger son, remember this: when and if there comes in your time a state of affairs such that our black kind shall really feel equal to his Caucasian peers, it would be only that time after the nigger kind have segregated themselves and have come forth with a model nigger community, which the others will be obliged to emulate. Presently, our black kind are too preoccupied in their futile attempts to capture that elusive spectre of their death called integration, to give any time, thought, or effort towards building model black kind communities of worth and lasting meaning. But for those who would ask how this would be accomplished, I have blueprinted in black and white the inevitable solution if the black kind nigger will ever make the slightest vital contributions to the enhancement and growth of our young nation. The prophecy or nigger legacy outlined if we were to survive as beings. 1. In the beginning, as an expediency to our survival, it would be necessary that Group 1, mulattoes, octoroons, etc., predominantly half-white black kind, along with Group 2, dark-skinned integrationists, progressives, return to ally with indoctrinate and organized Group 3, the underprivileged, common-bred outcasts of their peoples to realize the formidable force of their tri-group racial unity. 2. The second step should be together, allying the support of even the most extreme of racial segregationists towards seeking the successful congregational enactments a federal law of equitable separation. This enactment would make it legal to incorporate into nigger townships all predominantly nigger ghettos, suburbs, slums, areas of rural townships in any city, town, or county where the black kind citizens constitute at least 15,000 in number and are composing 5/6 of the total residential population in any geographical area less than 4 square miles in size. Such segregated black kind community ghettos should be allowed to petition and automatically become incorporated into independent inter-township entities with a cooperative autonomy to govern all residents, regardless of race or color, within such geographical jurisdiction. Note: my nigger, such a nigger township would function as a local government entity in compliance with the general ordinance, laws, and state statutes of the city, county, and state wherein it exists. Still, such communities would be allowed to alter, modify, and adopt by ballot new or existing laws and ordinances in order to best preserve their basic community interests, customs, and freedoms. 3. They must be granted autonomy and freedom of election, extended or restricted solely to only those citizens who are established residents of their immediate nigger township, forming the executive, judicial, and legislative bodies which will govern them. 4. Within the framework and function of the city, county, state, and wherein they exist, the nigger township would assess, collect, and initiate revenues and bond issues, and would negotiate the compete for industrial and government contracts and loans for the improvement and growth of the immediate nigger community. 5. All national, state, county, and city divisions and allocations but with such allocations, divisions, and awarding and receiving of such revenues, the nigger township would be free to distribute, build, relocate, and support their own individual, industrial, commercial, civil, educational, and recreational facilities and institutions as it best suited their distinctive community needs. Note: my son just as now, the above does not imply or even mean that a member of the nigger township would experience a denial of freedom to assemble, employ, or attend other such aforementioned institutions about his city, county, state outside of his distinctive community. Nor does it mean or imply that non-black citizens would be denied access to all of the facilities afforded by the nigger townships. Remember, this is our current practice all over the nation. How many of our northern city-states deny other visitors or settlers freedom of participation and attendance to educational, commercial, and recreational facilities based upon race or color? 7. The nigger township would empower the executive and legislative bodies to make or select its own preferences in appointments as to civil service administrators. They will also supervise, screen, and test such appointees whom are engaged and serve under such administrators. These such include departments of law enforcement, fire and public maintenance, as water, power, fuel, streets, highways, and most of all, communications. Note: my nigger son, there will be no Berlin walls erected to isolate the nigger townships from any other sectors of the city or county. There will be no restrictions placed upon freedom of travel, housing, educational, or social intercourse, except a demanding respect for local intercity customs and laws which might prevail. Such respect would be reciprocal as we venture forth to work, socialize, and participate in other such sectors of our cities and counties, states, and countries where presently travel through or purchase, perchance visit. Proportional 8. Proportionality with numerical population. The nigger townships would elect and send forth public officials to serve on the municipal court councils and aldermanic boards, county boards or of supervisors, state assemblies, and legislators, and even select their own congressional representatives and seniors in occasion. Note: my nigger son, this would not alter our national two-party system in local, state, or federal politics, but rather it would bring our black vote power into focal consideration and convention from all of these levels. Neither would it prevent or even suggest a lack of cooperation, integration with and among other surrounding Caucasian communities in campaigning, supporting, and electing the ideal political candidates despite their racial origins, creeds, or religious beliefs, not to mention advantages and advancements that would be assured our own black politician who could deliver and speak for his nigger township, support of a political party or its candidates and platform. Advantages of the proposed black blueprint. 1. On race relations, the incorporation of nigger townships would definitely tend to relieve the tensions, bitterness, fears, hatred, suspicion, which are presently being bred by those amongst us who do not only reject the thought of social integration, but who see no harmony nor future in existence. 2. On public and private housing, the incorporation of nigger townships would not conflict with application of the federal statutes previously enacted to assure equitable public housing accommodation among races, but it would encourage housing improvement so that our historical alarms with such might be greatly alleviated. Note: the black kind ghettos which presently disgrace the image of our cities and states could be easily remedied by rigid ordinances of the black kind citizens who have been forced to live in or occupy them. Under the popular concept of urban renewal, the nigger township could immediately close down such buildings by ordinance serving a time limit on delinquent, irresponsible landlords before taking the next logical step of condemning and destroying all such unqualified structure. Loans from banks, insurance companies, credit, or federal funds would be made available for the construction of new buildings to replace them, thus more unemployment in immediate nigger township for the member of his own community. 3. Trade and skilled labor unions could be brought to terms as to the hiring and treatment of nigger members who seek to compete and earn their livings within the community projects and programs supervised by racially biased craft guilds and unions. And this does not imply by any means that Caucasian laborers would not have privileges of working within nigger township, nor that nigger workers were not free to seek, find, and maintain employment outside the township areas, as he presently does. 4. Interracial congregation, social intercourse, and marriage. For those among us who sincerely feel that these are the prime most Ideas of human freedom might be pursued under local Nigger Town ordinance, which will assure that the constitutional freedom to do so within its own geographical confines without necessarily seeking approval of the majority numbers in the city-state around them. 5. Prostitution, crime, dope traffic might be curtailed, thus eliminating the stigma and accusations those flourish primarily in the Nigger communities. Note: my son, these three evils could be perhaps better policed with the Nigger Township supplying their own law enforcement officers who would be not only familiar but more interested and dedicated towards stemming the flow of such evils which presently invade the black-kind communities at will, often with the blessings of the political power structure of our nation's urban settlements. Thus I leave you to the black blueprint and the means for a legal and voluntary form of segregation of black-kind and Caucasian races, which will effect more mutual respect and equality of opportunity for our niggers than any form of integration would ever bring forth toward the salvation of our race as a people. At least it will become the final challenge that the nigger prove the equality and quality of our black kind first to and among themselves. When this has been accomplished, our niggers will be better able to hold their own town meetings in order to air and properly present our urgent needs and grievances before the body politic as a whole. You will also note, my son, that none of the suggestive proposals presented in the Black Blueprint would tend to separate our black-kind community in functions, duty, and loyalty to the body politics, but would rather cement our relationships with clarity and understanding by delineating the differences and needs of our particular kind of people and community, for we could be recognized and treated as official community entities, identified and located by and through other things, but mostly by our racial origin and skin colors. As entities, our black kind could enhance our rights to petition against inequities, as we presently attempt to do, but our force of petition would be more formidable in that our numbers would be localized and accessible. Then with our nigger communities localized as entities, our black kind of citizens will better discover and distinguish the hypocritical and often questionable designs of the Caucasian liberals who have heretofore joined in support of our causes that they might take control, exploit, even sabotage the very aims and aspirations of our black people to their own personal and selfish ends. You would even have the unprecedented privilege of allowing such liberals no official voice in your affairs of being and welfare. And what better way to establish your black quality and racial equality than through the segregation which is integration as it should be in its purest form.